Hey guys, what's going on? InsidiousSwede back again here for another YouTube video, and welcome to a first impressions on Black Clover. Now, this is basically a video that you guys voted on Twitter. I posted a poll asking you guys which first impression you want to see next, and Black Clover won by a landslide. So, considering that, I'm sure most of you are more interested to hear what I have to say on the manga rather than the actual story, but considering I want to keep all of my first impressions the same, let me talk about the story a bit, and then I'll spend the majority of the video, though, talking about my thoughts on the manga. So basically, Black Clover is about this green-eyed kid right here named Asta, and it's also loosely around the black-haired kid named Yuno. Now, Asta and Yuno were both abandoned at a very young age in the same orphanage. Both of them have grown up together, and both of them want to become the Wizard King, which is basically the most powerful mage in the entire kingdom. The difference between Asta and Yuno is that in a world where magic kind of rules all, Asta has no magical ability whatsoever, whereas Yuno is probably the most gifted mage at his age of 15, and that's really the only thing that separates our two main characters, that and Yuno's kind of the cool, calm, and collected kid, whereas Asta's kind of the exuberant, kind of troublemaker who just, expresses every little feeling, to the 10th degree. It's kind of, light and dark, black and white between the two characters, despite the fact they've grown up together. And this basically begins our story. Both of them try out for an entrance exam for I believe it's Magical Knights, which is basically a exam where you compete to show off your magical capabilities, and one of these 9 guilds may choose you to join them in hopes of becoming maybe one step closer to becoming the Wizard King. And the only reason why Asta was ever awarded any ability is because he is literally anti-magic, essentially. He has the ability to repel most things magical, and he ends up joining one of the more ridiculous guilds, I think the Black Bulls, or something like that. I have to look up the name again. It's right around here. Yeah, and then otherwise, whereas Yuno joins one of the most prestigious guilds that you possibly can. And, this first volume, there was a lot of flaws to it. I think the positives is I like the direction. I'm actually a pretty big fan of the artwork here, especially when it looks like that. Where, Yudo's making those ridiculous faces, like here, I think are a little bit lesser, but more often than not, it's a good-looking manga series. I like the artwork a lot, and I also am keeping in mind that I've heard Black Clover is kind of a slow starter, and that apparently it really finds its footing later on, so I'm keeping that in mind as well. But Black Clover kind of reminds me of like a combination between Hunter x Hunter and Naruto kind of combined together, and then lowering the quality just a bit. Because Asta could very well be a Naruto Uzumaki, with the exception of there's magic instead of chakra, and Yuno is kind of that Sasuke-esque character. It seems like most shonen manga has that kind of cool, calm, and collected side character that kind of follows along our eccentric, upbeat protagonist. So this series definitely follows all of the shonen tropes you would expect it to follow, and I think it does them well. I like where it's headed again. The concept is fantastic. Our main character, Asta, in a world full of magic, he has the ability to not use any. That concept I'm a fan of. He's not born with all these gifts and powers. He has to work for what he wants. I like that idea quite a lot. Again, the artwork can be stunning. At times, it's really weird. And sometimes it's also a bit too standard shonen-esque. I think it needs to diversify itself a bit more, expand upon the world, and honestly add more interest, because I kind of felt myself like, what's the whole point? Why do we care? You know what I mean? So maybe I'm thinking too much into this, but as it stands, Black Clover, it was a good read. I gotta say, I was a fan of what it did. I'm a fan of the characters, I'm a fan of the world, and I like the concept, but overall, its execution definitely needs some work, but it's by no means bad, and I can definitely see why people enjoy it. It just needs to improve upon itself and grow. But yeah, that is my first impressions of Black Clover, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. If I somehow missed something that you wanted me to answer or have any questions based upon my thoughts on the series, definitely feel free to leave them down below. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I'm InsidiousSwede, and until next time, take care.